Let me tell you, there are a lot of rumors around at this moment about our centralized listing, and the rumors are indeed true.
Welcome on the first episode of the Libertum podcast. Welcome, Jav. Nice to see you.
Like always, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Al. And look, I am very excited to be here. We're joining in this podcast with you.
Yeah, that's really a great opportunity also for our community to share knowledge and to stay updated on the latest, of course, steps and milestones of the projects. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. And there's
First,
so many things to talk about, right? I just don't know where to start because there's so many exciting things running in my head right now that I just want to share with the community. Obviously, there is certain things that I cannot. But yeah, absolutely excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
we really can wait as a community, as a personal holder. I'm really excited to know. But first of all, I want to ask you the common question that will link all the podcast. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm doing really well. We had a great summer. We as in family we went for Cyprus, as you know, for a 12-day vacation. Absolutely amazing place, nice, warm. Really had a good time. Before going to Cyprus, I was in Mexico to meet potential partners. What we actually started or created a new company there, a regional hub in Mexico, that we shared the information with everyone. And guess who came to sign the paperwork for us? It was the minister of the state of Oaxaca, which is very exciting to see. Was such a big politician coming to actually sign the paperwork in Mexico City and then taking it back to Oaxaca to open the regional hub, Libertum's first regional hub in America. So yeah, absolutely buzzing about it.
That's really cool. That's really great. So first of all, you want to talk about the major things, the elephant in the room. Talk about this, and we are happy. So the first checks, centralized exchange. What can you say about this?
Let me tell you, there are a lot of rumors around at this moment about our centralized listing, and the rumors are indeed true.
Okay.
Since the day we got listed in Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, we've hinted about the listing on centralized exchange once the perfect moment arrives, let's say, right?
Sure.
There was a lot of pressure around, hey, why are you guys not listing in centralized exchange and so forth? I don't think we were ready at the time, right? So, but what defines the right time? And I think that's the question we all had in the mind. For me and the rest of the team, it was when a technology is primed for launch, right? Or when we have solid asset base in our portfolio, which is ready to be tokenized and so forth. And why? Because that's when our current token holders, especially, can benefit the most and get rewarded for all the exciting press releases, partnerships, asset base that we have lined up until year end now. And Al, I'm excited to share with you first that our tokenization engine is ready.
Yeah.
Our security contracts have been audited already a couple of weeks ago, and we are ready to securely tokenize assets by the end of September. So the first platform that we are launching is obviously the most important one, which is the tokenization engine.
Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. Also, by the fact that I was 100% with you when you say that the technology must be on step with the listings, because I've seen many communities during those times. That's the 5 years on crypto right now, and I've seen so many projects going down because they have rushed things. So I really appreciate from a project to go along with the technology. That's the main point. We are not talking about meme coins. We are
Yeah.
talking about technology it's potentially disruptive. I
Yeah.
know all the works you are doing as a team, so that's really cool. And you are anticipating to me before. That's not about only a marketplace. Everyone talks about a marketplace right now. That's not just so easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So look, in my opinion, it's not about the marketplace. I think tokenization, and why are we launching with tokenization? Why the initial product tokenization, right? I think that's the main question here. And I think
Yeah.
tokenization is pretty much serves as the powerhouse behind all the financial opportunity that emerges after tokenization, right? Tokenize and then it creates some financial opportunities for the asset owners and for the investors. So it's pretty much paves way, as you can say, to explore lending protocols and the marketplace and the farming market and the list goes on. But it all starts with tokenization. So the initial step in establishing a fully comprehensive, scalable, and legally compliant infrastructure for real world asset, it starts with tokenization, which is pretty much our first product. And on the journey towards creating a very secure real world asset marketplace, Al, as you know, we have initiated a process of obtaining necessary security licenses. And while some projects have launched their marketplace without a proper license, Libertum doesn't want to be one of those. We want to uphold the regulatory compliant standards. And our marketplace is ready. I mean, you have seen it yourself.
Yeah.
A marketplace has been developed, is ready. It's actually white labeled as well for other projects to use. But we just cannot
That's
launch
a
it.
killer feature. That's a
Yes,
really a killer feature. Also, I
absolutely.
mean, yeah,
And we cannot just launch it, right? We are going to launch it, but it's pending approval for a DApps license. DApps is the El Salvador Security Brokerage license. We're expecting by the end of the year, which is why tokenization, we endeavor to release tokenization has been the first project, and we endeavor to release the lending protocol to the world soon after. And marketplace will only be launched once we have the security license in place.
okay, that's great. Because just having the ownership of things in the blockchain doesn't mean that's really useful.
Correct. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it must have different purposes, from lending to to staking it,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. I think staking is already launched. I think the get protocol and the staking protocol or earn protocol in our ecosystem is launched. But what really brings the benefits for the token holders and users is, again, as you said, is the technology and what can the technology do, the opportunities, the financial opportunity, the investment opportunities it creates through various other ecosystems, which is the lending protocol. And lending protocol, the one we are going to launch soon after the tokenization, will be the B2B. And then B2C will follow perhaps in the near future, right? And then the marketplace, once the licensing in place, followed by farming market, which I am particularly excited about. But we're going to talk about farming market maybe in a couple of months.
Yeah, because also every technology you are seeing, like a giant roadmap, it seems so easy, but every product has a real word behind. I can suppose it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. You're absolutely right about it.
How many people are working right now fully on team?
We have
Just to have a perception, because
yeah,
people just see the I'm also a customer.
yeah,
So I just see going CoinGecko and check
yeah.
the price, but I don't really see what's behind. So I'm so curious, and I think also the communities.
Yeah, yeah. We are 12 people in the team. That includes us as well. A bunch of them in the tech, We have three in or four, one part-timer, four in the marketing team, and then we've got was five in technology, five and a half, I'll probably say, and three in strategy and operational support and so forth. So we still a very small team, but we are well structured and it works very efficiently at this moment.
Yeah, in this era, actually is a perfect combination because you don't have so much cost, so it's sustainable, but
Mhm.
it's also focused because I've seen so many times in a companies they tend to delegate so much, and the works in the big companies I've used to work many times. The work is to communicate your work and not actually doing the work.
Yeah.
So that's actually a fault of the industry sometimes.
Mhm.
I really prefer
We
such
have a small team, but it works very efficiently.
the efficiency.
Alan looks after the technical operations and partnership building. I look after the financials as well as the strategy. And obviously sales is really everybody's responsibility. We've got Kevin who looks after the technology. He has been in blockchain for good 12 years,
Yeah,
working
a
for
true G.
exactly. I mean, working for Australian government as well. So he
Yeah.
understands a thing or two about blockchain technologies from security perspective. So I believe we've got a solid team and which I'm really grateful and happy about.
Yeah, also the fact that you are all doxed and with a strong background is a killer application also itself.
Thank you.
So that's really great. That's really great. So Jeb, you have talked about the lending protocol several times, and we have such so many things we have already said. But can we go deeper on the lending protocol? How does it work?
Yeah, so our lending protocol is a B2B lending protocol. And in the lending protocol, we have partnered with several DeFi protocols, projects, and a handful of centralized banks, right? Now, you might be surprised about centralized banks, but I think they are all looking into tokenized asset to lend against. And I think that's pretty much where the industry is going. So look, once tokenized, the asset can be utilized in the marketplace for farming or as a collateral in our lending protocol, right? Whatever caters to the preference of the asset owner. So basically, the asset owner can tokenize their real world asset, connect their wallet into the lending protocol, select the RWA token that he wants to or she wants to borrow against,
Yep.
and pretty much create a pool to apply for funding, right? What happens then, that request is forwarded to multiple B2B liquidity providers, whether it's a DeFi, whether it's a centralized bank or lenders, who have 72 hours to either approve it, reject it, and upon approval, the full funds, literally 100% of the funds are swiftly transferred over to the asset owner, pretty much eliminating the need to be dependent on retail investors for a fractionalized funding or fragmented fundings. And moreover, the interest rate or the yield rate that is accepted in the lending protocol is actually set by the asset owner himself. So they select a bracket of minimum to maximum loan interest rate that they are looking for, and based on that, the B2B liquidity providers can possibly accept it or decline it. And moreover, I strongly advocate for tokenization as a valuable tool to establish a data library, right? So tokenization creates a data library that pretty much helps these centralized banks and lenders to do their due diligence with one click of a link of the library and see if the funding is acceptable or not. So I really do see a future of this particular standard practice being used in various use cases.
Okay, so using the first principle of the blockchain itself, so the transparency. and use it for having the right informations, for having a landing, like a direct landing, because in less than 24 hours I are good.
Absolutely. So what happens is if you want to borrow against a real world asset right now, banks or lenders do need a lot of information that you can possibly go and speak to your lawyer, speak to various different people to source that information, right? But we actually source that information, the full data behind the real world asset, and create a library once it's tokenized. That library, the link to that library is visible to everyone and it's in blockchain, right? So anyone can get access to it at any given point of time and make a decision based on that. What we do it, we create a user-friendly table so people can read and see everything that's what's going on with those assets to help them make that decision. And I think that will be a normal scenario going forward in the future, I believe.
Yeah, you believe that also so institutions can embrace all those technologies, and can Libertum be one of the givers of this technology as like a middleman? But that's not really.
Not only Libertum, look, there are various other tokenization platforms, and I think we all collectively will be part of this democratization, let's say,
Okay.
and not only us, and I think is from the government's perspective, from the banking perspective, it makes it so easier, and as you said, it's the pretty much the first few KPIs of when the blockchain was set, transparency, the easiness, the quickness of the process, the data point are all linked to one library. So it's so much, it makes it so easier to anyone to make a decision, let alone an institutional investor or a bank, right?
So less time consuming, so less money consuming. It's a winning for also the centralized entity. So
I
okay.
cannot agree more. I cannot agree more.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And what about the real estate industry? How do you see the real estate?
Real estate is, look, it's still a very tricky industry, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and lie to our community or our listeners and say real estate it could be fractionalized and easily fractionalized, and then you can invest in small chunks of real estate and get yield and all that. Those are all possible, right? But we also need to make sure that that transaction is very secure as well, right? I would highly recommend people to do that due diligence before investing on any assets, right? But make sure there is securities in place, make sure there are safeguards in place, make sure there are personal warranties in place. So we do have a bunch of real estate that we are working on as well at this moment, and hoping to tokenize some of them by the end of this year. But we do it through trust. We transfer the ownership into a trust. Why trust? And then we tokenize the trust, right? But why trust? Because trust cannot be liquidated, right? LLPs, LTDs, and limited companies, those are all could be liquidated. So that doesn't really safeguard a investor's interest. So for us, in particular, it has to be through a trust, right? And any investors who invest in small fractions of it or buys the entire thing, they become the trustee of that trust. And you cannot liquidate a trust. Okay, you can
Yeah,
pass on the
it
trust.
has also a low under the low perspective is
Yeah.
100%, and that's difficult right now for the the step of the industry. Is it
Absolutely.
difficult to have the right communication to the institutions, also
Yes.
bank? Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I'm saying tokenizing a real estate is not as simple as a lot of people say. It's the one of the most illiquid asset in the entire globe, right? It's
It's of course so much tempting. It's so much inviting, of course.
it is because who doesn't want to invest in real estate, right? But one has to be very careful on what they are investing in. There
Yeah,
is
I
opportunity.
imagine. Sorry to stop you, but I
Sure.
imagine during a bull run, so many people around the world will have the USDT on some ledger.
Yeah.
and I say I want to buy home, I want to buy a house or
Yeah.
make a living of that, and so they must have so accuracy.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the key word here, security and safeguard, right? You need to do your due diligence in what you're investing in, how you're investing in, what returns you are getting. So when projects say you get 10% return, it might not be 10% return. It might be 10% minus the overhead cost, right?
Sure.
So and the most importantly, Alan, I think you and I have discussed it before on several occasions, is what's the exit strategy for the token holders? Yes, you can go and invest in, I don't know, small portions of real estate. But what happens if you require the money further down the line, right? And how do you how what's your exit strategy? How do you
Sure.
sell your token? Is there a secondary market that's viable? Or do you look at the lending protocol that we are creating and borrow against those tokenized assets?
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to, it's okay to open the marketplace, but if you don't have the exit strategies for various aspects, it
Yeah.
wouldn't work. Which is why I think lending protocol is a key ecosystem for us, because that's pretty much the exit strategy for any security token holders as such.
That's really great because it gives a really utility and a sort of course, of trust, real trust
Yeah,
on the project and also the investment people doing that we
absolutely.
know was full of it was full of camps years ago. Now it's getting better, of course, but
Yeah,
still people losing money in stupid ways. I'm the first one, of course. No,
yeah, yeah.
that's really important to talk about.
I cannot agree with you more. I think you are spot on this.
The market is pretty infinite, I think. The tokenization market and also the assets are infinite. There are jewels, precious gems, or real estate.
Absolutely, cannot agree more. You can imagine one of the conversation I started yesterday. Should I say this? But look, it's a sports company, right? They want to tokenize billboards and advertising
Mm.
screens because as a lot
Good.
of big companies that advertise there, let's say a basketball court and a
Yeah.
Nike advert comes up, right? So those kind of billboards could be tokenized as well, and that's the discussion we are having right now. And the yield generated from those screens could be passed over to the investors. Uh,
Great.
so there is so much going on at the moment. It's so important for us to choose the right ones, right?
Great.
And make sure. I think this is again comes down to make sure investors, funds or investment is completely protected.
Okay, that's great. I also love the layer you have chosen because that's one of the most secure and the most faster, cheaper, and trustworthy in the industry.
Hmm.
The base blockchain is really great.
Yeah.
And you are one of the first really entering this kind of market.
Yeah, and with Base L, the fees, the transaction fees is very low as well, unlike any other chain. So that was one of the security was obviously one of them, and the transaction fee was a key one for us as well.
Great, great. Thank for your time, Java. If you have anything else to you want to share, we are
No,
here.
thank you for having us, and look, exciting news, many of them in the horizon that a community, I know they are eagerly anticipating. And rest assured, we have strategically positioned LBM token, let's say, to spread the joy this Christmas season.
Oh,
Um,
great, great.
we truly appreciate all the support you are another community members has given us, and all I can say right now is thank you for sticking with us. There are some very exciting things happening, which I believe everybody, oh, we would be able to share with everyone leading up to Christmas, and I just cannot wait.
Great. We are really grateful and so much happy for what's coming. And we are waiting for the checks listing, of course, now.
Yeah.
They are whole hype in the I think that the clip will be reutilized so much.
Let me tell you something. Let me
Yeah,
tell you, you're the first person I'm telling this to. We're not having one centralized listing. I'm just
That's a
going to leave
mic
it like
drop.
that. I'm just going to leave it there. It's not only one.
Okay. You dropped the bomb. It's time to go, I think. Great. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Al.
Thank you,
Thanks
man.
for your time.
Bye.
Bye.